Hello and welcome. My name is Garrett Mullen, and this is my presentation for my Professional Communication and Presentation class for Full Sail University. I am here to tell you why we need to stop challenging and banning the sales and possession of specific books. Did you know that there were 60 known challenged or banned books from the year 2008 and to the year 2009? I say known because multiple surveys indicate that approximately 85% of challenged library material goes unreported and away from the media. The act of banning books and literature dates back for hundreds of years, and to most recently, this year have books been banned and challenged. Literature such as Walt Whitman's collection of poetry, which was banned in Boston in 1881, and Fahrenheit 451, which is still challenged to this day. So why is the act of banning books such a bad thing? Well, first off, it violates the First Amendment, which is the freedom of speech. Just because someone finds a book that they deem unacceptable or offensive doesn't mean that someone else might find that very same book artful, informative, or even creative. Another reason is that if all of these publications were banned forever and we were unable to have access to them, then there would be an infinite number of possibilities we could have missed out on. What do I mean by that? Well, here's an example. Were you aware that there were some very popular books that have been banned and challenged? Books like the Merriam-Webster Collegiate Dictionary. The reason? A single term: oral sex. While it's not exactly dinner conversation, it is a mild phrase in comparison to late-night television. What if we never had a dictionary because a group was offended? Some are just entertainment, and children's entertainment at that. In January of this year, the children's book Brown Bear, What Do You See? Was banned because the author also wrote psychological books for adults. Also, the book James and the Giant Peach, yep, that was also banned too because James was disobedient and the violence was in the book. What if we never read our children these or never had them read to us? There are much more sinister fairy tales other than James and the Giant Peach. What if those were banned as well? Where does the line start from acceptable to non-acceptable? If we grew up thinking some books are okay and some are not, we might have even a worse illiterate rate than we already do. There are classics that we read in middle and high school, such as A Tale of Two Cities, or the book that actually showed me that reading can be enjoyable, Of Mice and Men, by John Steinbeck. At that time, all the books we were reading were dull and unoriginal. However, this book showed me to express a wide range of feelings and nothing but text. Without reading that, I might not have enjoyed reading as much as I do now. George Orwell's 1984. These books have influenced musicians, artists, and other writers alike. If they were never read, then they might not have found the motivation to create the masterpiece of their own. Entertain and educate, but they can open your mind. Once banned books like The Grapes of Wrath and The Da Vinci Code spark amazing debates among students, parents, and even scientists and experts. These books show that things that we thought we knew could be completely different, only a few layers deep. Hopefully you'll see my argument by now. If not, if all these books would have ended up being banned for the rest of time, there is a large magnitude of consequences. We would have not had the motivation to create our own ideas or expand our knowledge. We would have missed out on intelligent discussions and friendly debates. We would have smiled less, and that of course is just a theory. One of the things that bothers me most is who gets to define what is unacceptable. If we ban one book because of violence, shouldn't we ban them all because of violence? If we find one term offensive, who is actually offended by it? I believe that we need to have a unanimous decision on what is acceptable and what isn't. There is not enough consistency. I just wanted to share a few more banned books just so you have a good understanding of what I'm talking about. These books are not dangerous or harmful. They're not terrorist handbooks or propaganda. They're books like The Catcher in the Rye because of language and sexuality, or The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain because of offensive language. You might be sick of hearing what I have to say, and hopefully not, but just in case you are, here's what others had to say about the subject. Once a government is committed to the principle of silencing the voice of the opposition, it only has one way to go, and that is down the path of increasingly repressive measures, until it becomes a source of terror and all of its citizens creates a country where everyone lives in fear. Here's what a few others had to say about the subject. Whoever overturns the liberty of a nation must begin by subduing the freedness of speech. That was said by Benjamin Franklin. And here's my favorite. Damn all the expurgated books. The dirtiest books of all is the expurgated book, by the previously talked about Walt Whitman. We need to find a way that we can properly censor these books. The idea I propose is a rating system for literature. That way we can have access to every book published, but books deemed offensive can be kept out of schools or in the wrong hands. Now, if certain schools ban the books or parents keep their kids away from the Harry Potter series, we're only harboring their creativity. So until then, what can we do? Well, as you can simply just support the books that are banned themselves. There's a great website ran by the American Library Association called ALA.org. On that website is a weekly feature celebrating the freedom to read. It is pretty much a book club for banned and challenged books. I use it every week and recommend it greatly. So after all that, I hope you have a better understanding of where I'm coming from. If you feel that a book is offensive or has obscene material in it, I simply ask you to just not read it. If you propose a ban or participate in a challenge, you're only hurting others that can maybe gain something from that book later on, be it knowledge, entertainment, or simply history that cannot be forgotten. We need to keep these books alive, for us, our children, the rest of the world, and until the end of time. Well, that's it for me. I hope you had a good time, and I just want to say thanks again. Here are some of my references, and have a good day. Thanks. Bye.